All right, we are live. What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode one. I completely forgot what episode we're on. 127. I just did the thumbnail earlier, too. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by the fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy,
What's up? What's up?
and the great ace attorney, Ash Destroyum.
Yo, what up, guys?
Ash, question for you.
Yeah,
Do you think that Phoenix Wright should be in the next Smash Brothers?
of course,
What's up,
of
geek?
course.
Welcome to the
I want,
podcast. What
I
would
want
be his
every
moveset?
character. If anything, if they're smart, they'll just grab the move set from Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom 3, because honestly, it makes sense. That's what the team for Super Smash Flash 2 did for Phoenix Wright as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if Sakura wants to get creative with his move set, then that's perfectly fine by me. But if anything, even if this is not feasible, I want every character to be in Smash. Because I think that this will be a further great opportunity to introduce other series
Mhm.
to other folks that haven't really played those franchises yet. But my favorite, of course, Phoenix Wright. I want him to get it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's funny. That would make a great segue for what we're actually going to start today's conversation with. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch as well. We do stream typically 3 days a week. I didn't get to stream yesterday because something came up, so I didn't get to stream yesterday. I didn't get to do a video this week because I have completely forgot that I actually had a promise to somebody. I had to help them out with moving. So I made that promise. I was like, I gotta commit to that. So I didn't get to do a video uh this week at all. Next week though, I will be going in with a video, and of course my solo stream and stuff like that. Trying to get all sorted out. I don't know why. It's just like not doing anything for a whole month, and then of course the move and everything has just got my. It's hard to find the right routine with everything, and then of course factoring in the streaming with the drive, and it's just out of whack. I gotta kind of get back into a good routine again to kind of get this going there. So yeah, that's kind of my excuses for this week. But no, for sure, we always will be here Thursday with the podcast now, and then Friday, me and Bryant are doing a playthrough through Split Fiction, which is actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far. I like what's going on with it. The gameplay is, I won't say it's not, it's unique in the sense that I like how it pulls from a bunch of different genres, and there's definitely a bunch of callbacks to different types of games. Like there was this one part that was definitely a callback to Donkey Kong. There's another one that was a callback to, I forgot what game it was, but we were talking about it. We're like, oh yeah, this is a callback to that game. So it does pull from different games, which is pretty cool. And I like when games do that. It just makes it fun. Not only that, as a co-op experience, it's still honestly probably one of the best co-op experience in recent times for sure. Geek says, I was actually just rewatching your Final Fantasy Versus vid earlier today. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's my most popular videos, Final Fantasy Versus. I should probably just talk about Final Fantasy Versus 13, like just every video and see what happens to the channel. I'll probably run out of things to talk about. But anyways, like I was mentioning about Ash's segue into bringing it to Smash and introduce new characters, we're going to talk about Fire Emblem because it's actually, well, I don't think it's actually Fire Emblem's anniversary today. It's in a few days. Let me actually find out. Let me actually get the exact release date for Fire Emblem on the NES in Japan because we didn't get to see it till like well later on.
yeah,
April 20th, 1990. So that's what, 3 days from now? That would be, we got 18, no, Sunday. Yeah. So Sunday would be Fire Emblem's 25th anniversary, which is crazy to think that, that franchise has been around for 25 years. In the West, though, it's funny because it shows, you go to the Wikipedia, it shows the date that it came out, of course, in the US was December 4th, 2020, when they did the 20-year anniversary to Fire Emblem, and they released this on Switch Online for limited release. So you had to buy it when it was available, and if you didn't get it while it's available, guess what? You're
you didn't
SOL.
get it.
Yeah, you cannot get it at all, which was kind of dumb. They did that with only two games that I know of this generation, which was the Super Mario 3D All Stars, and then of course Fire Emblem. But yeah, I mean, Fire
Which
Emblem is. a franchise that was under my radar. I remember first playing it when I went to a not my friend's house, but a friend of mine's friend's house, and he had a GBA, and I saw this game. I was like, "Oh, what game are you playing?" He's like, "Oh, it's Fire Emblem. It's an amazing game. Have you ever played it?" I was like, "No," and he let me try it, and I just got hooked right away because it was similar to chess. Like in my head, I was like, "Oh, this is like chess, but with fighting and animations and all these other different strategies built into it." And I fell in love with it. At that time, I was like, kind of really getting into chess and checkers. Not so much checkers because checkers was easy, but like chess was like the hard version. I knew how to play checkers, so I was like, okay, let me try chess because this seems like a bigger strategy. And I just fell in love with the franchise from there. But not only that, they were first introduced to a lot of people in Smash Bros. So we had Marth and Roy appear in Melee. And a lot of people were wondering who the heck are these guys? Like they're unlockable characters. These are Nintendo characters, but they look totally different from anything that we've seen. Because everybody on Melee's roster we knew of. We knew of Captain Falcon, Link, Mario, Dr. Mario, Yoshi. I think who else was unlockable? Um, who was unlockable in Melee? I can't remember now. Luigi, right? No, Luigi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luigi.
Luigi was
Yeah, Luigi's
unlockable.
still Luigi's still unlockable, and then there was Mr. Game and Watch.
Yeah,
I think Rob was in there too.
yeah.
Well,
No,
um,
Robin Melee? No, I don't think it was in Melee. That was I think that was
he was never melee.
Brawl.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was Mr. Gamer watching in Melee?
Mr. Game and Watch is in there.
He is? Okay.
He is.
Um Shoot, there was a
Uh,
character too that just came to my head. I can't really
Pretty sure
remember.
Falco's in there too as well.
Hmm.
And then and then that's when Mewtwo first came in as well,
Yes,
which
me
was
too.
interesting. Yeah, and when Mewtwo first came in, and then after that, he was like never seen until Smash Four came. So it was,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, you got Game & Watch, Roy, Luigi, Mewtwo, Ganondorf,
Oh,
Young Link,
Ganondorf. Forgot about
Marth,
that. Oh,
Falco,
I forgot about Young
Pichu,
Link.
Dr. Mario, and
oh yeah,
Jigglypuff.
Peach. I
Okay.
forgot about Peach.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Pichu too. Yeah, so like that, like everybody you mentioned, everybody knew from somewhere, except for
Yeah,
Marth and
except for
Roy.
Marth and Roy.
Yeah, because Marth and Roy show up, we're like, who the heck are these guys? And they only spoke Japanese, right? So that was another thing. Like everybody's like, okay, they're definitely not an English property because they only have that. And a lot of people didn't know who they were. And then when you read like the trophy, it says they're from Fire Emblem and so forth. Then later on, we get introduced to what we know as Fire Emblem, which is Fire Emblem. I believe it's the Burning Blade. I believe is what it's called here because there's two of them. There's Burning Blade, and then there's the other one is Roy, and they have similar names. But that is the first Fire Emblem we get, which has to do with not Roy, the guy who looks
With
like
Lynn.
Roy, and a lot of people thought was Roy, but it's actually Roy's dad.
Elliewood, Elliewood,
Yep,
Elliewood. Yeah, I
you have Eliwood,
forgot.
Lynn, and Hector,
Yeah,
who
and
were
Hector.
the three protagonists there, and that was the first Fire Emblem we get over here. But a lot of people, even then, they skipped that Fire Emblem game, and the first Fire Emblem game they actually played was Sacred Stones. The Sacred Stones came a few years later, and that one a lot of people have played, which has to do with the twins, Ephraim and Erica, and you follow their story, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Fire Emblem's anniversary is soon, and I'm excited. I'm hoping some type of shadow drop announcement, maybe tomorrow. I hope, if not Monday, because it kind of aligns, or maybe Saturday too, because technically Saturday in the US would be Sunday in Japan. So maybe some type of shadow drop announcement would be nice. I don't know what I would expect because I think Sacred Stones is not available on NSO, so they could technically go ahead and do that. But they did just add like Streets of Rage and all these other two Sega Genesis games recently, so maybe not. Wario 64, I saw he just posted that it looks like Fire Emblem Engage is coming to Nintendo Music, which is awesome because Fire Emblem Engage has a sweet track. Like the tracks in Fire Emblem Engage are amazing. I love that. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, man, why haven't they added really any Fire Emblem games? Like the GBA soundtrack is all right, but honestly, the soundtrack peaks with Radiant Dawn and basically all the games after that. Were the old ones. I was just kind of yeah. Ash, I know you're a huge Fire Emblem fan like me. What are your thoughts? What do
Yeah,
you want to see from this anniversary? Are you hoping for like a new game or a remake or port?
I want a classic collection
Mm,
of Fire Emblem titles that was never localized to the West before, right? So starting with, I mean, okay, we can technically say the first one got localized to the West finally, but that was a
mhm.
limited time thing. But
Yeah.
I want Tharsia 776 to come over to the West, get freaking Fire Emblem Gaiden come to the West as well.
Mhm.
Roy's game still hasn't been localized yet. Get that over to the West as
Yeah.
well. Like all of that, it's a huge opportunity for them to actually do this. Because what bothers me a lot the most is that they have a gacha game called Fire Emblem Heroes and stuff, which is still going strong and stuff. I mean, now I don't know about revenue reports, but it's still a gacha game, which probably making a lot more money compared to other Nintendo IPs and stuff. So there's that. And if you were to look into on the characters and stuff, all the Fire Emblem characters, each of them have their own dedicated voice actor for those characters. So they already have a fine blueprint on what to do, whether if you want to do a remake for some of the older titles or just try to just do a collection and stuff, because they already have popularity contests over some of these characters in the gacha version of it. So, and they're making a ton of money from it, so they can use the money they make from that gacha game and just put it towards a actual collection of sorts. And I'm pretty sure you'll do fine. Make sure you don't make it limited like you did with the first one,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like to see a new game, and of course they're going to make a new Fire Emblem game, but I just want us from the West to pretty much like experience all the games that came out earlier, right? Because if you were to like look at the fandom from like a bird's eye view, like from like the surface, a lot of people are going to be loving like the newer Fire Emblem titles and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you go even further, there'll be certain people that like prefer Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, or Radiant Dawn, and then you got the veteran hardcore Fire Emblem people that always praise Tharsia 776 like it's a holy gospel. Okay, so I feel like in order to fill all those boxes together, I feel like they need to release like a Fire Emblem All Stars collection or something like that, where you get all the older games into one package, whether it's physical or digital, and it sell that as an anniversary thing, Because I know they're gonna go announce a new Fire Emblem game sometime soon for the Switch 2. That's obvious, but like there's still more money to be made, and just make a classic collection and call it a day,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, in Japan NSO for Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, they have Mystery of the Emblem, which is Fire Emblem 3, right?
Yeah.
So it has a retelling of the first Fire Emblem game, and then it has a sequel story where the first Fire Emblem game is like kind of like, I mean, it's a short Fire Emblem game anyways, but they kind of made it micro size, and then it follows the story after that, where you're King Marth, and you kind of go through all of that, which is kind of cool. And they also have Genealogy of the Holy War
Genealogy
there
Holy
as
War.
well.
That's another one too.
Yeah, so they have that in there. And I tried playing Genealogy of the Holy War, but unfortunately, like if you don't know Japanese, like forget it. And I tried with like using like the Google Translate, using like the camera part where it'll translate, and it just took too long. I was like, it's too cumbersome. I'm not gonna bother. Fan, you haven't played any Fire Emblem game, right? And you're not a fan
Not
of
really.
tactical RPGs?
Not my cup of tea.
No? Would you ever give Fire Emblem
Nope.
another try?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What would convince you to give Fire Emblem another try?
To be honest, like it's just I feel like it's slower than like just your traditional like turn-based RPG.
I can tell you what this is, that in the newer Fire Emblem titles, or not even newer, even older ones too, that you can actually speed up like the battle sequences in the game and stuff. Also, you don't, if for each battle you do, you don't have to watch a whole animation of them battling it out. You can actually play it like it's chess, where they go do do, and then you see the amount of damage they're doing to each other and stuff. So you do that in order for you to speed things up for you.
But the animations are beautiful though. Like they
they are
a lot better
They-
with animations. The
oh,
critical
they-
animations and everything.
Dude, I get that, but it's just it could be slow for some people, right? They just want get the stuff done and then move on to the next story beat or something, which I mean, fan could be part of that crowd. But you can definitely use those features within the game. If you're gonna start one, probably play Fire Emblem Engage. I feel like that's the best one to start in. And then after that, if you're curious, you can probably play Path of Radiance once the Switch 2 comes out with the GameCube NSO and everything.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, I have the ROM for it. It's just,
And the thing is too, I know some people were saying, "Hey, why not just get the ROMs and stuff and throw a fan translation?" And yeah, I can do that anytime I want. But the thing is, the whole point of me telling Nintendo to make the classic collection is to tell Nintendo, "Hey, listen," Intelligent is to, "Hey, listen, um, we want the older stuff too. We like
Hmm.
these characters. We need to see more of these guys and stuff." And
Yeah.
you could say, "Hey, you're already seeing these in Fire Emblem Heroes, but yeah, but that's not enough. We need these actual West releases to come out so we can actually support the older titles and let you know that hey, you should definitely make more of these. Maybe you create like a sequel that's like 100 years down the line where you have a main character who's a descendant of like a older of a lord or something like
Hmm.
just like going from Marth down to Crom and stuff. We could do the same thing for other characters too. You know, like it's I feel like it's a huge missed opportunity
Yeah.
for the most
I
part,
mean,
right? So
when you think about it, so a lot of people don't know Fire Emblem Gaiden or Fire Emblem 2 or what a lot of people over here would know as Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, which is the same game, is a prequel to Fire Emblem. It takes place hundreds of years. Well, I don't know if it's hundreds, but I believe it's hundreds of years before Marth. So it's before, the regions are like different before all of that was made, which is pretty cool. And if you know the story of Fire Emblem, you kind of, or Fire Emblem One, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, whatever you want to call it, you start hearing those references. You're like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about there. And then you have Fire Emblem Awakening, which takes place years later in the future, with the descendant of Marth being Crom, right? And then of course his daughter Lucina, who's also a main character there, which is also pretty cool because then you hear the things and you hear like a lot of these like places. Oh yeah, I know this from Fire Emblem and I know this from Shadow Dragon. And then of course there was like an Easter egg there that people were kind of wondering. There's a character you meet in Fire Emblem Awakening. He really resembles Ike, and it makes you wonder, is he Ike's descendant? But the reoccurring theme in Fire Emblem is that in Fire Emblem you have blue hair, and typically when you are with blue hair, you're related to Marth, right? Because Marth has
yeah,
blue hair. So Fire
yeah,
Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem, what else? Genealogy to Holy War, which I forgot, that's also a prequel because that's also Marth's descendants. They have blue hair, so they're related to Marth, right? Right away, that. And then of course you have Crom and Lucina, who also have blue hair, which are related to Marth. But Ike is the only one that hasn't been confirmed to be related to Marth, and he has blue hair. And there's a lot of things. I'm nerding out on this. There's a lot of things that make you wonder because Crom knows Ether, and that's Ike's move where he throws up the sword in the air. If you play Smash, you know what Great
yeah.
Ether is, where he throws it up, the sword spins, he grabs it and drops it down. That's Crom's move. And like I said, or I'm sorry, that's Ike's move, and Crom knows that same move. He uses it in the actual game in Fire Emblem Awakening. So it's like, okay, are you related or not? So there's a lot of lore in Fire Emblem, which is pretty cool. Not every game is related, but a lot of them are. Yeah, Fire Emblem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 6, 7.
6 is not related, no. So the first 5 are
Oh,
related.
I thought
Yeah.
you were just like counting how many Fire Emblems there
Yeah.
are. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
the first 5 games are related to each other. And then 6 is, I think, Roy's game. 7 is
Yeah,
Elliewood's.
yep,
8 is Sacred Stones.
yep,
The Roy and Elliewood's games are related. Sacred
mhm,
Stones is unrelated to either of them.
yep,
Then after Sacred Stones, you have Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, which are related to each other.
yep,
Then you have Awakening, which is related back to Marth's story. And then you have Fates, which is unrelated to any of the stories. Shadows of Valentia is a remake of Gaiden, which is the second game. And then you also had a remake, you have Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon remake too, which was on DS. And yeah, Mystery of the
yep.
Emblem, which was remade, but only for Japan, not for the US. And then I'm missing 3 houses and then Engage. So yeah, there's a lot of games that you gotta figure 6 games. Yeah, 6 of the, I think, 11 or 12. So basically half of the games are in the same timeline, where the other
Yeah.
half are broken up into, you could say, 3 different timelines. So Yeah. What's up, Brian? Welcome in.
Hey,
I see you got the shirt that has my favorite Mega Man character in it.
you bet. That's why I rocked it, because I
Yeah.
told you I would.
Yes, my boy Bass.
I was
He didn't
about
get
to
he
say
didn't get
base.
too
Is it
much.
base?
Yeah. He didn't get too much love, unfortunately. He was short-lived. Short-lived. You know,
Small
and
little stint in the anime also.
yeah. And I mean they did actually give him a little bit of justice in the anime of how cool he was. You know, with the what would you call it? Like a cape or cloak or whatever he had over
Yeah,
him.
a cloak. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they did give him a
So
little
what
bit
have
of
we
justice there. Mhm.
what do we cover so far? I thought we're starting at 8:30, not or 9:30 at Eastern, 8:30 Central.
No, 9 o'clock Eastern. We're just talking about Fire Emblem Anniversary right now. And that's really it.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
yapping about Fire Emblem for like 30 minutes.
Okay, I have nothing to say about that anyway.
You gotta give Fire Emblem a try. Don't you like tactical RPGs? Like, didn't you like Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah. I like more so games like the Rabbids games, the Mario and Luigi
Yeah.
and
But
or
you like
not Mario and
13
Luigi.
Sentinels.
Like the SOCOM type.
Yeah, but 13
Tactical.
Sentinels, I would say, is more about the narrative that like it almost feels like the RTS stuff is really kind of tacked on. Like really, it's about the story and about the interactions and choices and stuff.
Okay. I'm trying to think of
But I
another
want to like
tactical
it. I'm
RPG.
going to play Tactics
Mhm.
if and when that ever comes back around.
Mhm.
But Fire Emblem, I don't know. I just get my ass kicked all the time, and so I just feel like I'm playing it wrong, and it gets frustrating.
I feel like Tactics is harder than Fire Emblem, honestly. Like,
Yeah, but it's Final Fantasy, so I kind of give it more slack, I guess.
I guess. Oh, by the way, came in.
Oh, there you go. That came
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine came in too.
Yep. Overnight. The
And
best
then you
thing.
got Lunar tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't wait for Lunar. And then the coolest thing is this.
Stickers.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with those? You
I
gonna
don't
stick them
know.
anywhere?
I was telling Fan, like, when I get these stickers, I don't like using them. Like, all the Nintendo stickers I have, they're in its plastic wrap. And it's because, like, I don't want to use them and then, like, I throw away something and I'm like, great, there goes that sticker. I don't know. I get like that.
Yeah,
All
makes
6
sense.
games are on the Pixel Remaster cart, right? They're all there. They're not downloaded, right?
Yeah, it's all on the cart. Yeah.
Okay.
No
All on the
download.
cart,
All on
yeah.
the cart. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
I think the weird thing, from what I remember, the weird thing with the Final Fantasy Picture Remaster collectors, and we actually enter the cartridge, it's not going to be like one tile. It's going to be like six
all
tiles,
6
1, 2, 3,
titles.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6.
Yeah,
but
that'll
they're
be
still
weird.
on the
Like
cart.
pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah, I think
but yeah,
it
it's
does
still on the
do
cartridge
that.
though.
It installs all
Yeah, it
6
does.
games. Or not installs, but like it displays all 6
Puts them
games and
there.
then you have to which
Is Star Ocean on the cart, Fan? Do you know?
We're about to find out.
it should say on the
Okay.
front. It should say on the front. It would say like if you need a download, like right
Download
down here.
required.
Yeah.
It says download required. Yeah.
Oh,
Where?
okay.
You
Well, it just
serious?
says game requires download of at least 3 gigabytes. So maybe
Damn,
there's like a
how big-
DLC or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, how big is the game?
Lame.
Didn't really think Star Ocean was that huge. You know?
Well, there's a cartridge though in there, right?
Yeah, there's a cart in it.
Oh, so maybe it's just like an update or something. That's a good.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe it's a DLC or something. They're like
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
download to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
makes
mean,
sense.
it's better than it just being a code, I guess.
Or a game. Remember, game keys are coming.
Yeah.
Ooh, some big news drops. Star Wars Starfighter film releasing on May 28th, 2027, directed by Sean Levy and starring Ryan Gosling. Takes place a few years after episode 9. That just dropped.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, future Star Wars. I'm not a fan of where Star Wars is right now, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, it's downloading. So there's
How much is or it's just at 3 gigs. That's it.
I think so. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
it's
right.
got 4
It
minutes.
doesn't tell you anything. That's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Does that?
I mean, I wonder if like if you didn't have internet connection, you could still play it, like play version 1.0 or something like that.
Yeah,
I
that
hope.
is interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's
weird.
Lunar.
Okay.
Can't wait for Lunar. I was telling you also missed. I was telling them all the games that I bought recently. A lot of Switch games on cartridges. I got Paper Mario, or no, I'm sorry, that was digital. I got
Yeah,
Mario.
yeah, Bravely Default, didn't you?
Yeah, I got Bravely Default 2
Yeah.
and Paper Mario 1000 Years Door. I got
Hey, your
Mhm.
Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, when you open it,
Mhm.
was the cart upside down?
Nope.
Mine
Yours was?
was. Yeah, it was
Uh-oh.
sealed too. So I'm
You
like,
won the prize.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nice.
what the hell? Why is it upside down?
That is interesting. Yeah, mine's it's in normal. Oh, yeah, maybe get the fake Final Fantasy. Yeah.
It's just, you know, the one person who was sleeping on the job didn't pay attention
Yeah,
to how they
exactly.
placed the cart.
But I picked up Mario and Luigi Brothership, uh, Mario and Donkey Kong. I think it's just called Mario and Donkey Kong HD, right? Or is it just Mario and Donkey Kong remake?
No, I think it's just Mario and Donkey Kong. I think
Is
that's
it
just all it's
okay?
called. Yeah.
Well, I got that one, and then I got Kirby. Sure, I forgot what it was. Return to Dreamland. Yeah, Kirby Return to Dreamland. So I got those three because they were on sale on Whoop, and then digitally I got Bravely Default 2 and 1000 Year Door. Yes, a lot, and then of course I got this. My Switch collection is growing. Like I'm probably gonna do a video before the Switch 2 comes out on my Switch collection. So
Dude,
yeah,
you want me
it
to print
is.
you one of these little cubes?
Oh, I've seen that cube. The thing is with
Yeah.
that, like I don't know. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. My son just came in the room. 1 second.
So, anyways, how about that, James? He likes them physical Nintendo Switch games.
Yeah.
How about
so
that?
do I. So do I.
Uh,
Because
Great.
I've
maybe
got a
with
bunch of Switch
oh,
games.
that looks fancy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You know what you should do? You should make that really long and wear it as a belt. That's what you should do.
I'll
Just
probably do
Like, like Batman.
have a little buckle, little belt buckle.
Yeah.
Probably do that. Probably
Yeah.
do that for a con or something.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that guy that put your game cartridge in upside down. Maybe it's like Castlevania Symphony of the Night with like the upside down castle. Maybe you'll have upside down Final Fantasy 1 through 6.
Makes sense.
Maybe. I'm just trying to improvise here with topics while James is dealing with whatever he's dealing with. So
I'm back.
oh, he's back.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. My son, he's supposed to be sleeping, and I guess he woke up wanting a blanket. And I was like,
Oh.
yeah, it's like go to your mom. Like that's the only downside of not having a separate office. I used to lock the door, but here I don't lock it because if my wife comes in to lay down, then she can. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, your cartridge holder. So the thing is, like, where my current Switch case is, actually I have it right here. So what I do to carry my games in the case, I have a bunch of loose games because my collection has grown. But I have all these like right here in this little air pocket that's there. So I put these there, and then of course I have 3 loose games here. Unfortunately, 4 loose games. I lie. 2 more up here out of nowhere, or 1 more up here, and then of course I have all of these. So I have a lot,
Wow.
and I'm trying to see if there's a way I can get something that's this big, but can fit more games. There was a Hori one that looked pretty interesting. That looked to fit multiple, like, or it said 24, but I don't know how thick it is, and I might buy it off of Amazon. It's like $9 or something like that, and see if it works. But that's the only downside about physical. It's like, man, I gotta add this. It's gonna be another loose game in there. And that's not everything. Um, I have another bag that's there that I kind of put my SSDs and all these cables and like my dock, USB-C. It's basically my accessory bag that I carry with me. I have more Switch games in there. Not loose. They're in like a little thing that the bag came with to fit Switch games. So I have a lot of physical games. Like I mentioned, I have way more than that than I did on PS4, and I had a lot of PS4 physical games. The only PS4 games I still have physical right now is Final Fantasy 12 because I got the Steelbook with the beautiful artwork. Final Fantasy 15 because I got the collector's edition. And what else? There was something else I got that was like a collector's edition. I don't remember, but I have it like downstairs in my drawer. I don't remember because all of my collector's editions I decided to keep rather than get rid of them or sell. But yeah, that's that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Mario Kart World. Did everybody here watch the direct today at all?
I
Yeah.
I wasn't able to, unfortunately.
No.
I mean, it was short.
I
It was only
didn't.
like
I want to
15
leave it
minutes.
for surprise.
For surprise. Gotcha. So it was good to so I want to say something. I was wrong on something. I had mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast or if I mentioned it to somebody else, that I thought there was only going to be original levels, right? Original courses. That we were not going to get any type of remake courses or anything like that. They did reveal that they are doing remake courses, but they're going to be redesigned to fit into the whole aspect of, traveling from one area to another. And of course, with the different format they have now, like for example, you don't go underwater in Mario Kart World, right? Mario Kart 8
No.
and Mario Kart 7, you went underwater. In here, you don't. So like if you do like Donut Plains, for example, there's a part there where you would go underwater. You don't do that no more. It's just above there. The remake of Donut Plains, which was originally on SNES, but they added in. I don't think they showed it. Correct me if I'm wrong, fan, because I don't remember them showing this. I feel like they're still hiding things because there were scenes where it showed them kind of like Sonic or like Diddy Kong racing, where when you get to water, your cart turns into a boat, right?
Hmm.
Didn't they show that?
I think so.
Not on I don't think they showed it on the direct, but they showed it in a trailer. I'm almost positive they
Well,
showed
on
it.
my
Mhm.
on my wallpaper for the game, it does show like Daisy and a jet ski and the penguin like on a jet ski, like or like
Yeah.
a watercraft. So I assume they probably do change. You'd
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's that, and then of course we saw like the glider, where they glide instead of it being like a glider, it's like wings come out and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see because there was a level that was shown off too, and there's a lot of water there. So I'm like, okay, like we're gonna get a lot of water levels. But on the flip side, I kind of like the underwater parts in Mario Kart 8 and 7.
Me
Does
too.
anybody agree? Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I mean, even before that, Mario Kart 7 started the underwater
Mhm.
stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, I I I didn't know they took away that part. Hopefully, they replaced that with something even better, right? With
Right.
the remake. So that's a compromise I'm willing to make. If they're going to get rid of the underwater parts of the course, replace it with something that's better in the remake. That's
Yeah.
all I'm asking.
Yeah, because I think like you said, 7 brought underwater and the gliding part. I
Yeah.
think that was a better, like a cooler thing than having the gravity stuff in 8. Because the gravity stuff, I was just kind
Is
of
the
like,
gravity stuff coming back? Do you know?
no, at least from what I've seen, it's not.
That doesn't look like it, but I won't be surprised if it's still there.
Yeah, well, I mean, according to all the courses I've seen, it doesn't look like it, but yeah, like, it's what it is. They are adding a rewind function, kind of like Forza.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that.
like, if you mess up, you can rewind. But, it got me worried because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, like, you're adding this rewind function. Are people going to be able to cheat or is this not going to be able to be used online? It does state that, like, yes, your character will rewind, but everybody else continues to go. So, if you fall, make a mistake, and you decide to use rewind, then yeah, that's on you. Everybody else is still going to be going. So I'm curious to see how that's going to actually work in action because like I'm thinking, okay, especially online, we all don't trust Nintendo servers to that extent. I'm just curious to see like is it going to work well? Because that's a lot of processing power there and bandwidth, I assume, to be able to, multiple people are messing up and pressing the rewind button. Like how's everything going to react? So I'm curious to see how that works in like a real scenario.
Honestly,
True.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out. Assuming that they did upgraded their servers and
Mhm.
everything. It's just I don't see the necessity to use rewind for a game like this. That's my
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
The
arcadey. Like,
yeah.
the advantage would just be like if you go off track and you have to wait for the freaking dude to come and like pick you up and like put you back on the track.
Hmm.
Maybe it's quicker with rewind, but you maybe shave off a couple seconds.
Yeah.
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 That's something I can think of.
Yeah, because maybe you don't have to wait for what's the guy's name?
I forget his name. Like
Yeah,
the freaking dude in the cloud with the freaking
Yeah.
fishing hooks.
Lakitu.
yeah, like
There you
two.
go.
You don't have to wait for
Yeah.
him to like pick you up because that animation takes
Yeah.
forever and that kind of like gets
Yeah.
frustrating. 'Cause if you're in
Yeah,
first
It's only like
place,
a
he
good
comes
10,
straight to
15
last.
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see your point of view now, fan. That makes sense. That could be the only reason why that's there in the first
true.
place.
Yeah. But I can see other things like if you're trying to learn a course or something like that and you're practicing, yeah. I mean, honestly, me, I don't believe in practicing. I just play. And I'll figure it out as I go. But if somebody's
Same
like a
here.
diehard, I guess, pro Mario Kart World player, then yeah, I can see
Dude,
that.
I
But
the most hardcore it has ever been was back in Mario Kart Wii, where every player would just use Funky Kong on this motorcycle called the Spear, and literally they will
Mhm.
just know ins and outs on how to like complete the course as fast as they can. Like that's the most hardcore like game out there. And ever since then, like that community kind of died out little by little
Mhm.
because the same techs and mechanics weren't the same like the previous one. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if they're able to make techs in this one, that'd be interesting. But yeah, like
Yeah.
if you were to ever look up Mario Kart Wii and like the competitive scene, it's insane. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Mario Kart had a competitive scene, but like, I wouldn't be surprised because I played online and there's some crazy people out there. Like even when Mario Kart
absolutely.
7 came out, I remember playing online because that had on there. I was like, man, these people are
Oh yeah,
destroying me.
I agree. Yeah, it was a matter of like skill and how to handle the monster wheels and stuff because
Yeah.
the monster wheel gave you the best speed, but it had the worst handling and I believe it had the worst acceleration. So
Hmm.
you had to like make do and how to and know how to drift in certain parts of the game, which that was a whole new mechanic as well.
Hmm.
That was a whole other mechanic or
Yeah.
tech that you had to learn too. So yeah, it was definitely competitive in Mario Kart too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So they officially announced the Grand Prix, the World Tour, right? How many courses there are? I believe there's 6 in total, and then of course there's a 7th one that's hidden, which will pretty much unlock Rainbow Road, um, like every other one. I'm assuming DLC. They didn't mention anything about DLC, but I would assume DLC is coming back as well. Um, what was the other things that they announced? Characters they showed off. They didn't announce like every character, but they showed off a lot of characters, and they said
Mm.
there's more to come. They
Showed
announced
off a
like
couple new items.
yeah, new items. They had the feather, which I thought was there already. Like, wasn't that in like Mario Kart 7 or maybe Mario Kart DS?
wait,
Is it
which one?
Maybe
the feather
The
the
feather
feather.
started in SNES.
or yeah, it
Yeah.
was an SNES. That's what it was. Yeah, they showed that off, and they're like, "Oh, brand new item." I was like, I could have sworn the feather was already there. I believe it's a feather. It might be maybe it's something else. Um, no, yeah, because it was a feather because you hop in SNES, right? You would hop too. You would jump up, right? Is that
Mm.
what?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they're bringing that back, but they announced it like, as a new item. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere. Um,
Um,
they changed Bullet
question.
Bill. Yeah, go ahead.
Question. The way I couldn't like remember on what they said like before the direct, but is it
Mhm.
the way they're doing the Grand Prix? Is it going to be is it going to be like each course is going to be a circuit or is it going to be a sprint? If you guys catch what I mean by that,
Mm,
meaning that you start from the finish line. You start the sprint is like you start at the beginning,
mhm.
and then once you hit the finish line, that's it.
Oh,
There's
like
only one lap.
laps.
No, it's a
Yeah,
marathon,
It's a
man.
sprint. It's a sprint. Yeah,
yeah.
and a circuit is where you have to complete the whole course like three or four times, to complete the race and
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know with the Grand Prix if it's like one huge elaborate sprint or it's just like the previous games where you complete a circuit each round and stuff.
That I mean, and fan, let me know if you understood differently from me. But to my understanding, I think only World Tour has like a sprint. 'Cause to me, the way I saw World Tour when I saw like Nintendo Treehouse, the first course has laps. Then after that,
Okay.
the from leaving that course to the next course, it's literally the whole track. So like you'll go through laps, but it's really more of a sprint because you're kind of just going straight and then you go to the course
Mm,
and you wrap around once and then you're done.
okay.
Where Grand Prix sounds like it's just normal Mario Kart from what I understood. Is that what you
Okay.
understood from there as well, fan?
Kind of. I mean, they didn't like go too much into it, unfortunately, because it had a little bit of gameplay, and it was just saw some. It was only like 15 minutes, so like I couldn't really get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I asked is because I mean, whether it's like the still old fashioned or they're doing something new with it, it's fine.
Mhm.
But the reason why I was asking if like the Grand Prix could be a sprint is because like if the last course, of course, is Rambo Road, it'd be cool if you go from like the track before Rambo Road and like transition all the way up to like Rambo Road,
Yeah.
like the like similar to like Ratchet and Clank, where you're going in between dimensions. But with this, you go from the previous track and then you get your cars return to rockets or something like that, and it transitions you into Rambo Road or something.
Mhm.
I think that would be cool if they're able to do that
That'd
personally,
be
right?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, originally that's what I was thinking. It's like the transition would be more, and it looks like the transition is semi in real time because when you're driving to like the next stage, like one of them even shows it going from like a desert area to the next, trees start appearing, and then you're like in a beachy like area and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they do show a transition, like going from one course to another, but I get what you're saying. Like the way I was imagining it when they first talked about it was like, oh, I start this race and I can go through every single track without having to wait to see who wins. But you still
Mhm.
have to wait to see who wins, and then it stops, it loads, and then the course opens up, and then you start from there, and then you continue to the next race. So
Okay.
yeah, this direct was for 15 minutes. I feel like it's the Vegas like 15 minutes I've ever watched in a direct because they announce stuff, but it's kind of like okay, like we already seen that in the treehouse. We've seen that with the trailer. What are you really announcing? Again, the water stuff. I don't remember them like talking about that at all. Like I don't remember them showing them, jet skis or anything like that. So I feel like they still have some stuff to show. And I don't think they said it was gonna be another Mario Kart Direct, right? This was just the only one.
I believe so. I
Damn.
didn't
Then
I remember hearing about any other direct.
Yeah, let me see, because unless they announce two Mario
I
Kart
was
World Directs.
I was hoping they're really will try to go into more detail about certain features that they already talked about for the from the Switch 2 Direct. Damn.
Yeah. Let me see this article real quick in case to see if I was wrong. So they announced courses. Oh, what I did like, um, I'm assuming this is music inside the game. They have remixes to like Mario music, like actual Mario music. So they had was it Bomb Battlefield, right? This is the course.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. They had that as a song in one of the tracks. I was like, okay, that is cool. There was
That's
another
nice.
song that they had, and I was like, oh, I know where that song's from too. That's something I like that they're putting those songs inside there. Let's see. Um, They have, let's see, IGN wrote on different all the characters. So they showed off Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, Koopa, Rocky Wrench. I don't know who that is. Condor. I don't know who that is either. Goomba, Spike. I don't. Oh yeah, I know who that is. Cow, King Boo, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Waluigi, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Birdo, Bowser Jr., Lakitu, Toad, Wario, Pauline, Toadette, Shy Guy, Nabbit, Piranha Plant, Hammer Bro, Monty Mole, Dry Bones, Wiggler, Cataquack, uh, Pianta, Sidestepper, and Cheap Cheap. So those are all the drivers that they showed off. They did show off like you get like food, and then when you pick up the food, you can get different costumes, and that unlocks that costume. So then the next time you play, when you pick that character, you can change your outfit, which is kind of cool. So yeah, you'll have different outfits for each character, which we did see in the trailers. And a lot of people were speculating like, what does it mean when they change like their outfits? Well, that's what it is. You just can change outfits inside there. New abilities, charge jump, which allows enemies to, it says allows racers, I'm sorry, a chance to dodge enemy attacks. So that's kind of cool. So like if you hold the drift button, which they were showing off, and somebody like shoots a red shell, if you do a charge jump, you can jump up and then the red shell would miss you. That's nice. Makes things a little bit more competitive. And then of course you can grind or you can do like wall rides and stuff like that using the charge jump. It says rewind. Let's see. Grand Prix and Knockout Tour. So I said World Tour. I'm sorry. So it's Knockout Tour. That's what it is. And that's where you go through and it's like you start with 24 and then you have to place in a certain rank and it'll say like the next 16 advance and so forth all the way until you're number one. See.
Yeah, like each level is a checkpoint. And
Mhm.
if you're not within like the top 16 and then the top 12, top
Mhm.
8, top 6, top 4, we'll start knocking people out.
Yeah. Let's see. Coin shell. So there's a coin shell that can knock rivals off course and provide a trail of coins for players to collect. Ice flower was announced, so you can freeze enemies.
Yeah. I think I got that from the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that was in the movie, right? Hammers were announced.
The hammer throws, yeah.
Ooh, man. Okay, all right.
The
all
hammer
right.
from the Hammer Brothers. Hammer
Yeah.
Brothers, like his hammer.
And then
Like it-
Mega
Okay.
Mushroom.
And it stays in the course. I remember that. Like it stays in the course for a couple seconds. So if you throw it in front of someone, they can run right into it and get knocked out.
James,
What's up?
you remember the Mario movie?
Mhm.
You remember how like Mario and friends went how they went up to Rainbow Road and stuff?
Oh yeah.
If they can do that in Mario Kart Tour, that'd be so freaking like,
So
I don't know.
be able to go to different tracks in real time.
Yeah, that'd be so awesome. But I don't think that will be possible just yet, mainly because they still don't have the NVMe technology just yet. But man, that would be so cool if they can.
That would be pretty cool. Let me see. I said Mega Mushroom and then the feather. See, even IGN is writing it like it's a new item. But
Weird.
shout out to Bryant. Bryant remembers the feather from the Super Mario Kart.
Those young whippersnappers don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
Because like when I first heard it, I was like, I know I've seen that somewhere. I don't remember which Mario Kart it was. And people, I was like, I'm glad I'm not crazy. If I am crazy, Brian's crazy along with me then.
No, even I remember seeing this. So I don't know what I don't know whether we're talking about. So.
Yeah. So and that's it. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. See, so they did not talk about riding on water or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff that are still missing out that they've showed in trailers. It'll be interesting to see what they show off with this because they didn't even show all the courses. They showed some of the courses, but not all of them. So I am wondering if they're going to show another direct closer to launch. Yeah. So I know you didn't see it, Bryant, but Ash and Fan, what are you guys thinking about this?
Well,
You
I didn't see
excited?
I didn't see either, but based on like what you were saying, it
Mhm.
didn't seem like it was a good worth of my time to watch in the first place. Unfortunately, you know.
Mhm.
So I wish they would have like went into more detail on the stuff they want to sell you on for a Mario Kart World or tour. My bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like after this, they need to try to go around the country in the US into Best Buy locations and have people try out Mario Kart Tour on the Switch too.
Mhm.
To give them more of a feel on what you expect from the system, because they did it before with the Switch and they did it before with the Wii U. They need to do the same thing for the Switch too. Because if you want people to buy your console, you gotta have them demo it or try it out first. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be going around the US, but I did remember or hear them say that they were going to have it available at certain locations
Mhm.
where people can come in and play it. But I think that's only at like the Nintendo stores.
Yeah, which it all depends how bad you want to try it out, I guess. If right, it's just they need to like reach out to more potential customers if they really want to sell them on that $80 price tag for
Mhm.
Mario Kart Tour. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard people still complaining that they don't think it's worth $80, and I I semi agree with that statement because in my opinion, they haven't showed anything that I feel is like how can I put it, new enough, right? Like the whole, going to tracks and kind of like going from one place to another in well, what I thought was seamless experience, but it's not a seamless experience.
which
It's kind of like, yeah, it's like, okay, it's cool, but I don't know if it's $80. Like, there's got to be some type of gimmick in there that I could be like, okay, I can see a lot of R&D went into this, so this is worth $80. But as of right now, yeah, I agree with people complaining about the $80 price tag, which I won't be paying because I'm getting the bundle. So technically, I'm getting the game for $50. So, you know, I'm not complaining there. But like, I do get it, and it's understandable. They did mention that they're gonna go from game to game, try to base it off of R&D, how long it is, the amount of fun, and price it that way, which I respect. Like, and I honestly think there are some games that, yeah, like I look at it and I'm like, okay, this game is definitely worth $80 or $70, and then there's other games I'm like, you know what, I'm not paying more than $20 for this game, right? Assassin's Creed is one of them because every Black Friday it's $20. So I was like, why am I gonna buy Assassin's Creed at launch if I know it's gonna go on sale in a few months? But yeah, that's my thought on that. What about you, Brian?
I think in a way yes, in a way no. I think until we play it and see every piece, every bit that's gone into it. I mean, all we have so far is what was shown in the direct and what was shown in this direct, in the Switch 2 direct and this direct. So who knows? Maybe there is a really big plan for this to just make this like the biggest, baddest, awesomest Mario Kart ever. So on one hand, we do have limited information. Like, yeah, it just kind of looks like another Mario Kart. So
Mhm.
who knows? Maybe it isn't worth the $80. But all I have to say to that, like, the main argument is this: it's worth what people are going to pay for it.
Mhm.
And I think that it's going to be the top selling Switch 2 game, which I mean, that's not that much of a shock. They don't really have a ton at launch, but it's going to sell a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And that means more revenue for Nintendo because they're charging $80 for it. So if you want to be in the crowd that says like, oh, they're price gouging, they're taking advantage of the fact that everybody's going to buy Mario Kart, like maybe, but it's our choice to buy it at
Mhm.
that. And if it gets high enough, I mean, if you can buy a game at $70 and you can't afford to buy it at $80, then you might not. You might want to put that money elsewhere. Um, that's just kind of my take on it.
No, that's another take, and I can't not disagree with that, right? Like, I can't disagree with that because it's like it's right. Like, if you can't spend an extra $10 on something, then yeah. But it's also perception of value, which I understand too. Like, there's certain things I look at. I'm like, all right, I'll spend a certain amount of money on something, but at that point, I don't think it's worth past that dollar amount, and I'll move on to the next thing, right? Like food
Fair.
can be a lot of that, right? Like depending on the food, with what I'm buying is like I could only go so much for this, and if not, I'm moving to the next best thing, if that makes sense. What's up, David? David says $70 is too much. Yeah, I mean,
Go
we
look at how
talk.
much it cost in 1993 with Super Mario Kart. Look at the inflation. Look how much that SNES cart charged compared to what this is going to be, and you'll learn something
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and it's like I said, it's perception of value. Everybody values something different. Some people thought, I'm trying to think. There was a game. What game was it? Um, Hellblade, or is it Hellblade? Right? Yeah.
Hellblade, yeah,
The
Hellblade:
the
Senua's Sacrifice, yeah.
yeah. The second one. What was that one
Oh, the
called?
second one, I forgot. It's still Hellblade, but I forgot the second
Yeah,
one's
but
name.
that's a $70
Yeah,
game. Well, I mean, it's on Game Pass, but it was what a 2-hour experience, like or whatever it is. Like, yeah, that's something that I personally don't see the value in it. But some people see value in something like The Witcher that's like 200 hours. Like, yeah, that's worth $60. To me, I get overwhelmed, but I have no problem paying $60 for like The Last of Us when that came out, because yeah, it was a shorter experience, but I felt like I got my money's worth because I enjoyed the game. So it just varies, if that makes sense.
yeah, it
But
makes sense. It really just depends on
mhm,
the topic itself, and I mean, it really doesn't matter like if you use argument of inflation or how much it costs to make a game.
mhm,
If the game turns out like crap, the perception of it is going to look crap,
yeah,
essentially, right? Like just literally use Conquer for example. How much
mhm.
budget was into the game?
I forgot how much, but a lot.
Concord? It
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
Concord.
millions, like
Yeah,
20 million or something like that.
yeah,
yeah.
They sold it at
So
40
so
bucks and people still didn't buy it.
so thinking realistically, that game should have been like $100 minimum if I want to
Mhm.
lowball it.
I'm
400
wrong.
million.
400 million.
Okay, lowballing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm being nice here. 120.
Yeah.
So do you guys think the game is worth 120?
Apparently nobody did because it went belly up.
Yeah,
within a
because it
couple
was
days.
crap. Because
Yeah.
it was crap.
And
So like,
just to
yeah.
clarify too, a Super Mario Kart, if you just say it was, I think I looked it up online, it was $50 in 1992, and that would be $113 in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And prices to make games have not gotten cheaper in
Well,
the ensuing year.
I
So
believe Donkey Kong
Yeah.
Country was $80, like at that time.
there you go.
Like the
Yeah,
SNES
sure.
cart was $80, not inflation or anything. That's $80 in
Right.
1990, whatever, whenever it came out was $80.
Right. So you put inflation on top of that, that's probably
Yeah.
130, 140 bucks, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
So
consumer's
again,
not
all this belly aching about
Yeah.
the price of the game, I just
like.
You said
Listen, the
Legends EA will
consumer.
be 80. I don't think Legends EA is $80. I'm almost positive it's not. Let me double
I won't
check
be
that.
surprised. I won't be surprised if $80 on Game Freak.
I mean, yeah, Legends EA being that expensive, I'm like, yo, you gotta convince me because you didn't convince me with Scarlet and
Yeah,
Violet.
and that's the point of the whole PR and marketing team, to sell you on the fact that, hey, this game is worth to you $80, right? I mean, I can say, hey, it cost me to make this glass lemonade. It's going to cost me $30 to make this glass lemonade, so I got to sell for 40. But James, if I gave it to you, you took a sip out of it, and you say, hey, this tastes like Minute Maid lemonade.
Yeah.
Then at that point, that's not going to be $40. You know, it's just it all boils down to, okay, hey, if you put this much effort and this much money into the game, is it actually going to reflect on the price on what it's worth to the customer?
Yeah.
Right. That's the whole point of salespeople. That's the whole point of PR, so on and so forth. And so far, people are still not, still not thinking that this should be worth $80, which is why the response to that, hey, they're going to buy the bundle, buy the $100 bundle because they think it's a Mario Kart's worth at least $50. To me, so far from what I've seen, I think it's worth $60.
Yeah.
It also depends whether there's a physical cart in the bundle or if it's just
There
a download
isn't.
code.
It's a
It's a
download.
download.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
And that's how
download
they're
code.
like gonna make, like, because it doesn't cost them anything to put a download code where,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can
costs more
find
for the actual cart.
I know there was somewhere I saw physical like prices for the Switch 2 games.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be the same prices as digital, I think, because I remember they were saying that Mario Kart Tour physical was going to be $90, but it turned out to be false. It's still going to be $80. So,
well, that was because I was all
there was something online where like
Europe.
European prices were different. Yeah.
Yeah, European.
The
was
EU
90.
prices were different.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas like their digital was cheaper than the physical. But that was in the Europe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, 'cause, I caught that right away when people were saying that. I was like, no, because there was somewhere I went to and I saw all the physical prices for the games. I don't remember. I thought it was Target, but now I go to Target and they don't show anything.
Well, I mean, they don't show anything now because
Yeah.
can't pre-order it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, right
put
here,
it
like, I can go to Donkey Kong Bonanza and it's $70. And actually, find alternatives. Let me see.
Do you think pre-order is going to be available for pre-order is going to be available by next Monday at least?
I was hoping they announced it today. Let me see.
I've seen rumors about the 21st.
So Mario Party Jamboree is $80.
Oh, so next Monday. Okay. What you say?
Mario Party Jamboree is also $80.
Switch 2 edition.
But that's like that's
Yeah.
the $60 game plus the $20
Yeah.
like
Upgrade.
expansion
DLC.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a little different.
yeah. Switch 2 edition.
Yeah.
Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar RSS Premium is $80. So I guess that's like a collector's. Oh yeah, it is a collector's edition. Yeah, there's no pricing for
fine.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm fine with the game being at $80. It's whatever.
Yeah. Oh, what?
You know?
Oh no, wait.
Because
hold
here's the
up.
thing, Mario Kart is a safe bet. Like this isn't like I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a really niche game.
Concord?
Like
mouthwash.
yeah, but I mean even more like what's more Nintendo? Like what's a Nintendo centric like I'd say almost Star Fox because they haven't had a good Star Fox game in how
What
many
about
years? So like
what about Metroid Prime Federation?
Yeah, sure. There you go. That's not a bad example. Metroid Prime 4, I would pay $80 for, but yeah, if it was Metroid Prime Federation Force
Mhm.
for $80, that would be hard for me to swallow. I'd be a little apprehensive about parting with my dollars there for sure.
For that game, I'm pretty positive. Like, if I were to look into it, the game itself is not bad. It's just it came out at the
No.
wrong time.
Yeah,
Right.
but $80. I mean, that's a lot for that.
Yeah.
Legends- Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
It's all
Metroid
three,
Other
yeah.
M2. How about that? Metroid Other M2 paid $80 for that. That's scary.
Tears of the Kingdom is also $80.
Yeah.
But again, but that's Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, so $10 more than what Tears of the Kingdom for Switch was.
And then you have Breath of the Wild that doesn't come with the expansion.
Yeah, that
That right there,
Oh.
that right, they
Yes.
gotta fix that. They gotta fix
That's
that.
That's DLC. They're like, again, that's just DLC. They don't have to include DLC because you're not required to play DLC to play the
I
game.
know, but
It's
dude, it
not a
came out
requirement.
freaking 8 years ago. Like, just make a premium version of the game, like a Game of the Year edition. Like, think about like The Witcher, right? Like The Witcher 3, like the Game of the Year edition came with all the DLC. Like, that's what
Have
so
you
many games
ever
do.
seen Nintendo do a Game of the Year edition of a game?
No.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's 8 years
Maybe.
later.
Why would
like,
they
just
do
put
that
the
now?
DLC in there.
They've never
Put
done
the
it in the
DLC in there.
past.
never know.
They're gonna stick
How
to
about-
their guns. They're gonna do what they want to
Never
do.
know.
I mean, I'll say this for argument's sakes, right?
Mhm.
Assuming most of us already have the DLC, if we play the Switch 2 edition, the DLC might just work, and we don't have to pay for the pay. I hope we don't have to pay for the DLC again to play on the Switch 2 version.
No,
Switch
I don't
edition
know.
version of it.
so.
But if we
No.
already have the DLC, then we're on.
You're just paying for the upgrade if you don't have
Right.
Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, and the
Which is
DLC's been out
$10.
for 8 years, so you had 8 years to buy the DLC.
But people are griping that the DLC is not included with the Switch 2 edition. I'm like,
I'm one of those
because it's
people.
DLC. Well, I mean,
Oh,
you're
it-
not the only person that's griping about it. Like
No,
everyone online is griping about it.
like I agree.
But I'm like, it's DLC. Like,
I
you
agree
don't
where they're
have to
coming
buy
from,
it.
but if you already have the DLC, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I know, but that's because I already paid the $20.
It's only
That's
only
like-
for the
that's what I'm
for the
saying.
new people that have to
I
pay
know.
for the DLC. That's
I understand that, but I'm like, I paid the DLC because I wanted to pay the $20 for the DLC. But if people are complaining now, like, oh, it doesn't include, I'm like, yeah, because it's DLC. Like, you aren't required to buy DLC to play the full game. It's just extra content added on. So why would they include it? Like, it's not a requirement.
Because it's an 8-year-old game, man. If
Well,
it was like
it-
Tears of the
If
Kingdom,
people bought Mario Kart on the Switch 1 now and they want to get all those courses, they're gonna have to pay for Nintendo Switch Online.
So right now I'm looking through like all the Switch 2 games. And David, to answer your question, there is no pricing on Pokemon Legends ZA at all yet. So we have no clue what they're gonna charge for it. Even on
Umber-
Switch. Because they could
Uh,
technically
Umber-
charge $70 on Switch and make it $80
Look,
on
look.
Switch too.
bro. I'm predicting 80. I'm predicting 80. I'm sorry, it's 80.
Possible.
It's gonna be $80.
But
Yeah.
like if you look at all the games
mean,
for Switch
freaking
2 that
Game
are
Freak.
announced,
Yeah.
that the AI, the Somnus Files is $50. Damon X Machina, or was it Damon Cross Machina, whatever. Titanic is $70. Room Factory Guardians of Azuma is $70. Mario Kart World $80. Donkey Kong Bonanza $70. Street Fighter 6 actually is a good value. It's, I mean, it is an older game, but still, it's $60 for that and the year one DLC. That's not a bad deal in my opinion.
Oh, it includes the season
Yep.
pass,
So
season
bundle
1
one.
DLC.
Yep.
That's not bad at all. Yeah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land is $80, but of course that comes with the new DLC. So $60 for the game, $20
Yeah.
for the DLC makes sense.
Which nothing changes.
Yes.
Same price, yeah.
Breath of the Wild $70. Jamboree $80, but comes with that DLC as well. Bravely Default, Flying Fairy HD remaster $40. Tears of the Kingdom $80. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is $60, and that is it.
I can see fighting games having including the DLC because those are extra characters
Mm-hmm.
for a fighting game
And they're expensive.
on the roster.
Fighting games are expensive.
Yeah.
So,
That's different because those are actual playable characters when you're
Mhm.
doing tournament fightings. Like you have to know how to play those characters, especially since fighting games are like all like tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a story-driven game where you don't have to pay for the DLC to experience the full story, like
Yeah.
it's whatever.
See, David says Pokemon is all I played on the Switch. You're missing out, man. Like I know you like Oblivion type games.
David, if
Yeah.
all you play is Pokemon on the Switch, then I'm sorry.
you got-
Yo, why you gonna
'Cause they
flame
are-
him for that?
'cause-
Why you gonna
hey,
flame him?
It's because they are not good, except for Arceus. Arceus is probably
Arceus
the
is
only
really good.
Pokemon game on Switch that is good. And then
I
below
would-
that would be like Sword and Shield, kind of, and Let's Go Eat. Well,
What about
actually,
Brilliant Diamond
below
and Shining
Arceus
Pearl
would be
were good,
Let's Go
too.
Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu.
I can't
Below
comment
that
on
would
that
be
since I haven't
Brilliant
played that
Diamond,
one yet.
Shining Pearl, and then Sword Shield, and then Scarlet and Violet at the very
Yeah.
bottom.
I mean, Brilliant Diamond was just a 1-to-1 remake of Diamond and Pearl. So
Which
Yeah,
people,
but at least
which
it's
people
like-
complained
at least
about,
it was
which I'm like,
updated.
why?
It's just updated visuals and stuff like that. But that's the same thing for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. It's kind of
True.
it was just the
and
original.
those were good too.
But those are still good,
Yeah,
and they played well.
dude, you gotta play Zelda, man. Like you
There's
like
also- I mean,
Oblivion, you like Skyrim. You have to play Zelda. You're
You-
doing
you're-
yourself
you're forget-
injustice to not play Zelda.
You're all forgetting one Pokemon game, Pokemon Unite, the League of Legends knockoff. You forgot about
mean,
that one.
Yeah, there's that
Yeah,
too. And you also
You
gotta
know-
play Metroid Prime, man. Like Metroid Prime is a must play. It's in my opinion, and I said this before, it has a better campaign, I guess if you want to call it, than Halo ever had. Like you gotta play Metroid Prime. It's amazing.
They're different.
first
I
person.
wouldn't equate them. They're different.
are
Yeah,
different.
they're different.
They're different, but they're both first person, so they're the same.
I
I put Halo in the same camp as Elder Scrolls. All right,
yeah.
it's
so,
all
like-
Western. It's all the same.
Like tacos
right?
and arepas. Yeah, they're the
listen,
same but different.
If they
Listen,
have,
I'm not a
if
big,
they
I'm not a
have-
big Halo guy. I'm not a big Halo
Chimichangas
guy.
and burritos.
but-
They're the same but different.
If it has
Oh,
meat in
Lord,
it, they're
no.
the same, right? It's the same, right? He says, "No, it's not. I seen you guys play it. Man, you don't like them. He's seen us. He's watched the streams. Yeah, he's like, man, you gotta give it a try, man. He tell you, David, you're doing
He's
yourself
just living
injustice.
vicariously through us.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about what we've been playing. I'm gonna go first. I've been playing Bravely Default 2, and I like it. Like it's a nice. I don't want to say breath of fresh air, but it's a nice like window into the past or something that appreciates the past while also doing something different, right? So it definitely reminds me of Bravely Default 1. But like just the gameplay mechanics and just the way everything is kind of rolling out, it's like old school Final Fantasy. Which, if you
Yep.
remember, the Team Asano who did this, I think it's Team Asano, who did this. A lot of people don't remember their first game was on the DS, and I think it was just called Warriors of Light, and it was a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy, where you had a job class system and everything like that. So that was their first game, and it didn't do so hot. A lot of people did not like it. It didn't sell very well. And then they came back with Bravely Default, which pretty much was the same exact thing that they did before. But then this kind of did it. They kind of did the Rocket League thing, where Rocket League kind of just redid the same game again, and it just happened to take off. They kind of did the same thing there, with the inclusion of just the Brave in the default system. But I believe Warrior of Light also had a similar system to that. And it just, like I said, it didn't take off there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It feels like old school Final Fantasy story. Yeah, it can be like, I don't like using the word cringe. It just can be very simple. But I still enjoy it. The combat's fun. Like boss fights can be difficult. Having to use tents to rest. You don't recover your HP after you go ahead and level up. So there's a lot of other things going on in there that's like old school Final Fantasy. Yeah. It's good. I recommend it. That's pretty much everything I've been playing is really just that. I haven't played a lot of it. I'm only probably like a couple hours in it, but I'm enjoying the character customization, right? So you have your main job and you have a sub job. Every time you win a battle, you get JP points, which are your job points. And then of course you get your experience points. And with your job points, at each level your job gets, you unlock different abilities. Once you, let's say, get like, whatever ability you want in your job, you can actually set that as your sub job and then have a new main job that you can level up. But you can keep some of those abilities and you keep all like the magic or the skills that you have for that job. So a good example is, let's say you start leveling up black mage, you start learning black magic, and then you get a bunch of abilities from there. And then you want to be white mage, so you can change your black mage as your sub job, and you'll continue having all the black magic and all the black mage abilities while now learning the white mage stuff too. So you have both techniques, you have both white magic and black magic. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Really, really good game, and yeah, so far so good. We'll see how it turns out in the end.
I like to describe Bravely Default as Final Fantasy One on crack, but with a musical, because they just as soon as you figure out on like how to abuse a system, it is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, because like later on in the game, I found out that hey, as long as the music keeps going, you still keep all the buffs.
Yeah.
So as long as the music never stops, you can just wail on them and have fun with it. So like literally at the beginning of just Bravely Default, you will get the thief class and stuff, and then if you were to do the ultimate as a thief class, I think all party members will get like I don't know how much of a crit boost it is, but it's fairly high, or it could be just 100% on. I don't know, but like with that, you start with the thief, and then I don't know if you do the ultimate game with another thief to further stack it up, but I know you can stack other buffs from other classes
From
on top of
specials,
that as
yeah.
well. Yeah, as the music keeps going, which is insane. Like it's just when they were making this game, they just like, you know what? Let's just make Final Fantasy 1, but like just extremely broken for no reason, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna comment on that too. The soundtrack is good too. It brings like PS1 era vibes in terms of like
oh
the
yeah,
soundtrack that they have. And each person has a theme song. So like when they do their special attack, the music changes to that theme song. And like as I
yes.
was saying, as long as the music plays, you have the buff. So like right now I'm doing was it Paladin or Knight? I forget what it's called specifically. I think it's called Knight. I'm using that class. And when I do the special, he does a strong attack, right? And you do an attack on an enemy, but then you get their whole party gets a boost. And with Knight, it's like 100% boost to defense. So like it's pretty good, and like you get high defense for that. But yeah, each class or each person when you're under a different class will have different buffs, and yeah, if you do multiple specials, they do stack and stuff. So yeah.
All I
Um,
remember about Bravely Default 2 is that the battle theme sounds like the theme song from Attack on Titan season 2, I think, and I think it's the same guy that did the music.
is it? No, I don't think.
I
That'd be
think so.
cool.
I don't think so because it was Hiroyuki Sawano's uh, um the composer to that, and that's definitely not that. Let me see. Bravely
Probably,
Default.
they probably took inspiration from it.
Hmm,
The entire, let's see.
let's see. Composer is Revel.
Oh, Revel, yeah, Revel's been the composer for throughout all the.
You up blocked out there, Ash. What'd you say he's been the composer for what?
Yeah, for all the Bravely Default games and stuff. He's been, and he has like a interesting mixture of the different kinds of music he likes. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, and he did the Attack on Titan music too, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Revo performs Attack on Titan theme at Orchestra Tokyo why can I say that? Philharmonic Orchestra. There we go.
Oh yeah, season 2. He did the opening. Yeah, the opening.
Yeah, if you listen to the opening of season 2's like the opening to season 2 of Attack on Titan, and then listen to the Bravely Default 2 battle song, like they sound very similar. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what is. I'm trying to remember what the opening is of season 2 of Attack on Titan.
I can't do that either.
YouTube it?
I can't do that because
I'm just trying to think
I
of
haven't.
my mind palace. I'm trying to go through. Like I remember the first opening. But I think that was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Correct.
Everyone remembers the first one. Yeah.
That's the most iconic one there. I have to go back. To me, like the battle theme to me sounds like just Final Fantasy because it has the same Final Fantasy start, and then it sounds almost like Final Fantasy 5. I want to say Yeah, it has similar vibes to Final Fantasy 5. I think it's Final Fantasy 5's battle theme. Almost, yeah. To me, that's what I remember.
I'm gonna put a link comparing the two in Discord in a couple
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to see it after this, and then next podcast we'll discuss that. Fan, what have you been playing?
I picked up the 3DS back again, and then I played some more Golden Sun Dark Dawn, and I didn't want to like dive into Xenoblade Chronicles. Like I didn't want to buy it,
Mhm.
so to figure out if I like it or not, I loaded Chronicles 3D on the
Mhm.
3DS just to see if I like the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more quality of life stuff in the definitive edition version. So, like, I mean, if you do
Yeah, just
enjoy
like
the
just
story,
gameplay, just
yeah,
the overall gameplay, just to see if I'd like it or not.
yeah, I think you'll like it. Chronicles is really good, and it gets better. It's Xenoblade Chronicles is that franchise that with each game the combat gets better and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It, it gets a lot better because one is a lot slower. Two starts slow, and I remember playing two when it first came out. I was like, oh wow, this is very slow. I'm not gonna like it, and then it picks up like later on once you get all the different blades and you get all the different characters, it picks up fast and it gets really fun. And then three is just even better. And then X is just its own thing. What about you, Ash? What you been playing?
Yeah. Been playing a little bit of Zemless. I don't know if you can see that, and
Okay.
then been playing some Wuthering Waves 2 again, and then still playing. I actually went back to replay Devil May Cry 3, I believe.
Great game.
Because they're coming out with a new season for the Devil May Cry anime.
Mm-hmm.
And like I kind of want to just go through all the Devil May Cry stuff before I get to the anime, even though I don't have to, but I want to. So, um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Can't really explain too much, honestly. So,
What about you, Brian? What you been playing?
I was rocking out to this Attack on Titan theme song. It's so good. No, I was listening. So I've just mainly been playing Grandia, just nonstop. I had an unfortunate trip to the emergency room last Saturday, and so I've been laid up for the past week, not being able to do much. So I've just been playing Grandia on my Steam Deck with remote play on my Steam Deck because for whatever reason, the Grandia collection isn't compatible on Steam Deck, which is ridiculous. It's like the only thing that's left on my Steam Deck library that I'd really want to play on Steam Deck, and it's totally incompatible. You can't do anything. I guess, and also the Arkham games I'd like to play on Steam, and they're kind of wonky too. But so yeah, mainly playing that. Still have really positive feelings about it. I love the battle system. It's one of the only games that I can think of where I just love getting into battles and grinding because the battles are just really rewarding and just very satisfying to get through and to gain experience in and beat bosses and stuff. I really hope that they eventually bring over Grandia 3 and Grandia Extreme, and then you have the whole collection there. But all I like to say is this: for the next week or two, we're going to be eating well because tomorrow we have Lunar Remastered Collection, and then next week after that is Expedition 33, which I already have bought on Steam. I have it bought on PlayStation 5. I am ready to go on that game. I am so looking forward to that, and I'm sure that's what we'll be talking about. Not next week, because I don't think it'll be out yet. I think it comes out Friday next week. But the week after that, I'm sure we'll talk. What'd you say?
No, I'll say yeah. It will be the week
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, we'll talk. And I'm sure that's what I'm pretty sure you and I'll probably be playing that, James, I'd assume, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know
If I'm not
about you
hooked
guys, Ash.
into
Yeah.
Bravely
oh
Default.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested. I'm really hoping
You're gonna pick it up?
Yeah, I'm really hoping they do a demo. I mean, if not, I'm assuming it's coming on Game Pass, right?
Yes, it is on Game
Is it?
Pass.
So at that point,
Yep.
I might just abuse my discount, that $1 a month PC Ultimate, and just
Get it.
put that on Expedition 33 with that. So
Well,
if
I
they
don't know if it's
they
Game
don't do a
Pass on
demo.
PC. It's Game Pass on Xbox. Do you have an Xbox?
No.
Oh, I don't know if it's Game Pass on PC as well. I just know it's Game Pass on Xbox.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Might be both. I don't know.
I hope so.
Cool. I do want to give a quick thing because you mentioned anime real quick. Well, not really anime, but you mentioned Devil May Cry, and I guess we did mention Attack on Titan. So Brian had messaged me about Gundam. I still don't know how to pronounce it. The new Gundam series.
UGX
Oh,
or
that
something.
Yeah, it's like the weirdest name ever.
QGX.
Episode 2 came out. So you asked me, do you need to know,
Mm,
the
The original
original
Gundam.
Gundam series to it? I watched episode 1, and I was like, not really. Like there were some nods to the original, but that's it. And I came in with this knowing very little. I just know like there's like some type of arena, kind of like G Gundam. That's what it sounded like, at least in terms of what the summary was. Episode 2 comes out. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm very sad that it kind of was just a backstory to this, and we won't get to see what happens. I don't want to spoil it, but if you are a fan of OG Gundam, if you are a fan of Char, you will love episode 2 because like that was an amazing kind of like twist that I was not expecting. Again, this is somebody who I didn't really read into it. I didn't look into all the spoilers. I just read like a summary of what it's going to be about. I saw like the key art and I was like, okay, you know, it's gonna be hit or miss, whatever. But when episode 2 came out, I was like, this is kind of sick. Like, I like it. And I'm kind of sad that they probably won't build upon that, but it is kind of like a backstory. And that's all I can say without anybody else, without me spoiling it. It is cool. But I will say this, you it's kind of hard to say because it's an alternate universe
Oh,
to
okay.
the first Gundam
Yeah, isn't
series.
it like in the original series, like the main character gets the Gundam, and then like one side gets the technology in the war and stuff, and then this new series, it's like the other side got the technology or something like that.
Yeah, so like in the original Gundam timeline, like the Earth Federation forces wins the war. But in this one, it's the Zeons, right? The Zeonic Front won the war instead. So, but yeah, kind of like what you're saying, episode 2 explains all of that because you go through episode 1 and you're like, why is Zeon there? And they start saying, oh, we won the war. And, you're like, what do you mean you won the war? Like, Earth won the war. What's going on here? And then, yeah, they show the backstory. And I guess, you guys want to hear the spoiler?
No, no spoilers. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay. So, so yeah, because I mean, kind of what you said is kind of the spoiler there of who gets the technology and how it works, but it's
Mhm.
amazing. Like it
Okay.
was a cool what if. And I do like that when episode 2 plays, since episode 2 is like a flashback of kind of like what was going on in the original Gundam. They play all the OG music from that. So again, if you didn't watch the original Gundam, you're gonna kind of be like, why does this music sound like weird? Because it's not the flashy K-pop music that episode 1 had, or not K-pop, but J-pop music that episode 1 had. Um, but it plays like all the classic tunes. The only thing it didn't play is Char's theme song. Like for those of you who are Gundam fans, Char has a theme song. He's the only one that I know of that has a theme song that has his name in it and that plays every time he shows up and starts destroying people. So I can't think of any another anime character that has a theme song that says their name over and over. Um, but yeah, watch Gundam, whatever, that has a really long name that I don't know how to pronounce.
Does the
So
original Gundam hold up?
there's a remake, not a remake, but there's like a movie version that I think is probably better suited to watch.
because it condenses a lot of the stuff down
Yeah,
The
and
filler,
they kind of like the art is not
better.
redrawn, but it's like
like cleaned
better.
up.
Yeah, it's like cleaned up. There we go, compared to like the original. But I think
Is it
it'll
kind of
be
like
fun.
my affinity for Dragon Ball and how much I know about it, but isn't like one of the Dragon Ball series like it takes like OG Dragon Ball Z and it like condenses it and makes it
Oh,
cleaner
like
and not
Kai.
as long as that Kai or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. The movie, so like, Gundam is infamous for doing that. They've done that with Gundam, with every Gundam series. They did that with Mobile Suit Gundam. It's in I think 4 or 5 movies. Then they did that with Zeta Gundam. Zeta Gundam though, they redid the art. And it does have a weird thing because they have new animation, they have old animation, and it does this switch on you, which is kind of awkward. Dragon Ball Z Kai kind of does the same thing. but like you'll be watching something that's like from the 80s, and then next thing you know, you have this HD artwork that pops out of nowhere. You're like, okay, what's going on? The downside to Zeta Gundam, because that is the sequel to Gundam in the actual timeline, and it takes place literally like right after the end of OG Gundam, is they changed the ending, and the ending is not canon, unfortunately. So but everything else is canon except for the ending. You'll have to watch. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to watch the original ending. You could just kind of Google search what the original ending is, um, for you to get the canon ending. And then there's ZZ Gundam, which sucked. Some people liked it. I thought it was dumb. It was too not serious. And then after that is Gundam Unicorn. Oh, yeah, Gundam Wing. You
This is the
watched Gundam
this
Wing, right?
this is the only Gundam that I've watched that this is the only Gundam series I've ever seen. And I loved this
Yeah.
series when I was a kid, and I still like it now, obviously. But I mean, I bought this physical, so that should tell you all you need to know. Like, I love Gundam Wing. So I thought I'd like the other series too. So and I haven't watched any of the other
Mhm.
series. Like, I
There's a lot
bought
of good
Iron Blooded
ones.
Orphans. What'd you say?
Yep. I say there are a lot of good ones.
Yeah, I'm
Blooded
sure there
Orphan's
are.
good.
Iron Blooded Orphans is
Uh,
really good.
the most
What's
recent one, Witch of Mercury,
Oh yeah,
is
yep.
actually
Yeah.
pretty decent too.
well,
Yeah, I
what's
haven't
what's a
watched
good
that
one
one
to
yet.
start? What's a good one to start with? Because I never really
Gundam
watched.
Wing,
You would
probably.
like
Wing got me into it.
Iron Blood Orphans is really good.
Yeah, Iron Blooded Orphans is also
Is that
another
a good
one.
one to start with, or
Yeah, because it's its
So
own original story.
oh, an
Like,
original story? Okay.
yeah,
or, like it's really good.
so the thing with Gundam is there's different timelines in Gundam. So you kind of have to know, and each timeline kind of has their own like different themes. The UC timeline, which is Universal Century, that is OG Gundam. That timeline is based on, it's literally just war and politics. So if you like a lot of war and politics,
Yeah.
it's really it.
Double
I
O.
mean, yeah. Double O is
Gundam Wing is after Colony is Gundam Wing after Colony
correct.
195.
Yeah.
Okay.
After Colony is Gundam Wing. Then you have Gundam Double O. I forgot what their timeline is. Gundam Double O is really good. It's kind of like a spiritual successor to Gundam Wing. Very similar themes. I would recommend Gundam Double O, especially to you, Brian. If you love Gundam Wing, you'll love Gundam Double O.
Double O's good too.
What's the one where the dude's like actually fighting inside of the cockpit,
G
like he's
Gundam?
G
he's like
Gundam.
standing?
Yeah.
That's just fun. That's just
Yeah.
fun.
Is it okay?
It's not, yeah, it's like its own thing. It is a fun series to watch though, and it's pretty good actually. It might seem wacky, but it's actually pretty good.
Oh, it is wacky. I mean, every country with its like stylized
Yeah.
Gundams.
There's
How
Gundam.
how is Germany the one with the ninja? That makes no sense.
Well, it's like the Mexican Gundam is Tequila Gundam.
um,
It's got the sombrero and
Yeah, like
everything.
that artwork is amazing.
I know this is probably going to be subjective here, but like,
Mhm.
which Gundam you think has the best story?
Best story?
Yeah,
I like Gundam Wing a
Oh.
lot. Like
Yeah, Gundam Wing's good. I mean, I like Double O just because it like went on.
Double O is
There's
really
a lot
good
of like
too.
twists in Double O.
Yeah.
Gundam Wing is it's so funny actually. Now that I think about it, James, when you and I were playing Split Fiction, I threw out that Epion
Yeah.
reference when
with
I
the
got that whip. You
Yep.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Gundam Wing right there.
Yep. Oh, I love Epion when Epion first showed up with was
Oh, it's so awesome with Zex and
yeah, with
Trays.
Zex and
Yeah.
yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, I always loved Epion. I thought Gundam Double or Gundam yeah, is it Double O? No, wait.
Wing Zero.
Wing Zero, there we go. Yeah, I'm mixing them up. Wing Zero, I thought I don't know. I was just like, Hiro should have stayed with Epion, but you know.
Epion's badass. Who
Yeah.
who ended up getting Epion? It wasn't Zex. Zex got the Tall Geese
No,
3.
no,
Who
Zex
did
Zex got it and then it blew up.
was that at the end of the series?
Yeah, well, before he got the Tall Geese 3, because remember then Zex kind of changes and is on Hiro's side, and then he gets the Tall Geese, and they fight what's his name? The guy who wore
Trays?
blue. Is that what his name?
Trace.
Yeah.
Trace Kushinada.
Yes, they fight him.
And then the bad guy in Endless Waltz is Marimea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Anyways, Ash, to answer your question, to put it to you this way, Gundam Wing was you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like that was like the first big Gundam series to come out on Toonami. There's a
Yeah.
reason they brought it to Toonami is because I think it's like really immediately accessible and it's kind of in its own thing and it's got great characters. The plot is very cool with like politics and war and
Yeah.
the Gundam designs are amazing. They're very iconic.
Yeah.
it's just called Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Gundam Wing, yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. I know.
Mm.
Don't know where
You could
else.
probably- you
It
could
might be on
probably-
Disney
sure you can
Plus
find it online.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably find it
Iron
online.
Blooded Orphans is
Services.
good too. It's a
Yeah.
more down to earth version of Gundam, which I did appreciate because like Gundam has a lot of like beam firing and stuff like that. Where Iron Blooded Orphans, they kind of
Like straight up
took away
fighting.
that. Yeah, it's like they have like this. He has a sword and it's a metal sword. It's not like a beam sword.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
I
So it's like a
I would
Megazord
consider
from
more like a
Power
club.
Rangers.
I
Yeah,
would
it's like a
consider more like
club,
a
I guess.
club.
Yeah.
Okay.
The long range weapon he
mace.
has like shoots bullets versus that. It's really cool. And then like there's a kind of thing that involves like how these people can control the mechs, which is pretty cool too. But yeah, but I personally like the Universal Century Gundam series. There's just so many like the politics in it, and just going back between the back and forth between Xeon and the Earth Federation is really good. Gundam Unicorn, which is the most recent in the series, is amazing. I loved it. That's also, I believe, there's 5 movies, or they turned it into a series as well, 25 episodes. But I really
Sheesh.
like Gundam Unicorn, and Hiroyuki Sawano does the music for all of it. So, it has a banger soundtrack. He's actually been the
Okay.
official composer for Gundam since Unicorn. There is Gundam Hathaway, which is crazy. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the novel has a super, super messed up ending. So if you want to be kind of like saddened, Gundam Hathaway is good. Only the first movie's out. There's supposed to be 3 movies total. The second movie comes out, I think, later on this year. I believe they said that it was either later on this year or next year. But yeah,
Okay.
that's one has a super messed up ending. And what makes it more messed up is the guy who's like the main character. You know him because all the way back from the OG Gundam, he's like a little child. So like he's like a 5-year-old.
That's
And then this one is him
Epion.
as an adult. So yeah, Epion was dope.
Wow.
But yeah, I would look at all of those. Cool. So that's everything we have for the podcast today. Appreciate everyone for joining us, and a little bit of the anime talk at the end, or Gundam talk rather. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Split Fiction, which was very fun. So definitely catch me and Bryant tomorrow at 9:00 playing some 9:00 Eastern rather, playing Split Fiction. I mean, a lot more fun. Fan, where can I catch you at?
Phaneckswhy, at all the socials, Twitch, YouTube, X, Blue Sky, all of it.
What about you, Ash?
You can catch me at Extra Strong on YouTube. But before we go off, can I say one more bit of news real quick? I think this is kind of cool. Yeah, so apparently Split Fiction on the Switch 2 can actually game share with the Switch 1, so that way you can
Yeah, I
do
saw
co-op.
that. Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
What about you, Bryant? Where can I catch you at?
At Red So Deep on Blue Sky.
Awesome. And as always, you can catch me right here at the Random Encounter. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Split Fiction. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.